You are listening to the Parkflyer Podcast, where we discuss our RC adventures.
Welcome to the Parkflyer Podcast, where we discuss the ups and downs of the new RC Flyer. Join your hosts, Michael and Jay, as they take flight at the park. Now on with the show.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Parkflyer Podcast. I'm Michael from Arizona. With me always are my good friends.
Jay from the hills of Texas.
And Shannon G. and Mesa AZ.
And we are welcoming you to the 20th anniversary of the Arizona Electric Festival. We are out here in beautiful Mesa, Arizona. There is beautiful weather today. It is day 2, but yesterday it was a little windy and a little kind of rainy at some point.
Rained early on. And
so we did get a little flying in. We did a couple of different things we'll kind of cover. But for now, why don't you take us through a little bit about what's going on and where we are so far?
all right. Well, yesterday we kicked it off, and one of the coolest things was we got our local news station, Fox 10, to come out and cover the event. They did some live shots, and Michael was flying the beautiful Cessna 172 you see out there on the flight line. And with another plane flown by Ali Machinsey, it was amazing, the footage they got, and they took all kinds of footage of other planes flying, and they did it on a couple of the other, the noontime show and the 5 o'clock news. So I was able to record them and saw some really cool stuff that I hope brings a lot of people out today. And I've already been getting phone calls, and so it really looked good. So thank you for the amazing, you landing like right at the end of the newscast was like perfect. It couldn't have gotten any better than that. So
yeah, it was one of those things. I worked really hard on the big Mike Cessna. That was where it came
Yes, you
from.
did.
I inherited that last year, and I kind of pulled into it and did a lot of work and
Last minute work.
oh yeah.
Anyway, we were working out right up until yesterday, and then I needed a mate in it, and so yesterday morning. After the winds were kind of dying down a little bit, I took it out, and the first time in a long time I've been a little nervous about flying it because it does have some history. It is an icon here at Arizona Electric Festival. It's won all kinds of awards, and everybody really liked it. So I was a little nervous, and actually was the maiden flight with the news media, I think.
Yes.
Oh yeah. It's crazy.
So, just to add to the stress.
Just to add to the stress. So the news media, Channel 5's here, and I'm out flying it, and I told Jay, I was like, man, I don't know about this because I just don't want to wind up on the news with a big,
smoldering
pile of it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, well, now that we can see what happens out there at the RC, actually, it's a NASCAR thing.
Yeah,
right.
They all come for the crashes.
We
so.
caught the whole thing on live on television.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. But
And here's
but
the
yeah.
pilot, Michael Moon. How
I
do you
know,
feel
right,
about this?
right, exactly. That's no doubt. So anyway, it was a little nerve-wracking, but once the airplane kind of took off and I did about 2 circuits around, it kind of all of that came back, and I think my nerves went away. And we did a couple of laps, and they were able to get some really good footage. And then Ali was flying the big
Sailplane.
Sailplane.
Powered sailplane.
That was kind of funny.
Yeah.
So,
And you guys end up doing some formation flying. And
Yes,
kind of
we did.
Spur of the moment,
It
and it
was.
looked so good on TV. I am not
bigger
kidding.
is better because
It is
because at
better
first
there.
it was like, oh man, they're really close. Oh, they're not close together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and the funny part is that Ali and I were on totally opposite ends of the field, so all of that was like unplanned,
Yep.
but it did work out. He kind of turned in front of me, and my airplane and his airplane are big enough that they looked like they were right in formation.
Yep.
So from the camera angle, it looked really like the two of us were flying side by side, when in reality I was probably 10 feet behind him. So it wasn't no danger or anything involved, but it did make for very good news coverage.
made for
and
good
it was pretty
television.
exciting. Yeah. So other than that, we kind of flew pretty much everything in our inventory. The only thing we didn't fly was the A-10.
The
But
A-10.
we took the Cub out and the L-39s, and the news media actually got a bunch of B-roll with all of us flying
Yes, they
around
did.
there,
So you actually see the L-39 flying and a couple of the other planes, going through there. So it was, it really turned out spectacular. So we're calling this Spectacular Saturday. 'cause
there you go.
All the people coming out from watching the news.
Well, not to toot my own horn, but so far I've made it into Jet International Magazine, and I made it on the news.
Hey.
So
Yeah, that's true.
Next, you're going to be on the cover of
yeah,
People,
oh,
Man of the Year,
the Man of the Year,
Sexiest RC Pilot Alive, you know.
Yeah, I don't know
Men
about
over
that.
35,
men
yeah.
over old man in the sea, something like that.
You know, top wanted men, whatever, for flying RC planes.
That's pretty funny. Well, we are excited. Yesterday, I will mention the fact that you've got some really good vendors here and some sponsors.
Yes, this year our sponsors just really stepped up and made this event really special. You can see some of the banners out there, ZAP and Horizon, two of our longest serving sponsors in different capacities. ZAP's been coming out here, Paul Stenberg, for the whole event, the whole 20 years. Horizon's been a big part of it, especially the last few years. They've really been a partner with us, and we have featured them in the noon show. EDF products from eFlux RC, also they've been a huge sponsor over the years. FMS really also
stepped up.
I kept getting boxes and boxes I didn't even know I was getting. So that was even the better part. Oh, surprise!
Right.
Box. Castle Creations, RCBattery.com, another big partner the last couple of years. The list goes on. I'll probably at the end of our weekend kind of do a rundown of all who the sponsors were, but those are really the big ones that have really stepped up and been partners with us. And we're really excited for the pilot raffle because there's so many things that we can provide to the pilots who come out here that it's probably one of the best raffles we've had in recent years. I mean, everyone gets something at our raffle. That's kind of like the thing I've always done. Am I always kind of give everybody a new airplane? No.
Right.
But I've got 11 aircraft.
That's amazing.
From the giant, E-Flight T-28.
Right.
I've got 3 Vipers, 190, 270 millimeter. Got a trainer, P-47. I got F-14. I mean, you can be Tom Cruise, Pete Maverick.
Right.
At the end of the day today, if you want. Some little drone racers, Emacs.
Yeah.
So and then just all the other stuff we have, Castle Creations and all the batteries and all the other fun stuff we've collected. So really excited to share this with the pilots this year.
That's very cool. We're excited. Well, I will tell you that Zap actually, they normally give out samples in our our.
I get my year supply of glue.
I do pretty much
coming to this event.
Glue.
Yes,
and I will tell you that he came out with a new product this year.
They did.
And so I was able to talk to him, and he basically said it's a new CA, and it's a foam safe that requires no accelerator, no kicker.
That's pretty
that's
amazing.
and he said that they used it. He was telling me a funny story that when they actually tested it and they started putting it in the bottles, it glued the top of the bottle shut, and they couldn't get any of the glue out. So he said they had to redesign the cap, so the cap now has a pin in it. So when you screw the cap on, it actually punctures through. And so I was like, well, man, they should have been doing that a long time ago, because I hate it when I open my glue and I have to
poke it through. Yeah, I think it's just there's something you just kind of accept. But I think for that type of glue, it just really made more sense to actually go through and let's put the pin in there. So,
but it made sense. So I'm excited. Everybody's going to get one of those, and it'll be interesting to kind of go out and see how that works. We'll get back
we
to
gave everybody, everyone's got a Parkflyer Podcast decal.
That's it. We do. We got made decals this year.
AEF decals. I had pins made. Yeah. So we pull out as many stops as I could. Couldn't give everybody a brand new airplane.
I'm already wearing my pin.
Yeah, I got my pin here too. We got our new Parkflyer hoodies. So we designed that. These have been really good. Everybody wanted one.
Yeah.
I had a couple of people go, "Hey, where do we get those?" And I was like, "That's for staff."
Yeah,
that's for staff.
Yeah.
Well, I should. We didn't put our names on it, but
you should have said, "Get me some coffee or a new Keurig machine."
That's right. Give me a new Keurig and we'll go talk.
I'm just honored I get to wear one now.
Yes. Well, we're excited about it. So
as much as you guys have been here, and for the first couple of years, you were kind of clandestine. You were kind of under the radar, and like, what are you guys doing? You need to get out here. And,
that's true.
And now we're buddies. So
that's right.
I'm digging it.
So big day today. We've got a noon show going on.
Yeah, so for the noon show, it's kind of the highlight of the weekend. We're gonna have John Serio with his insanely fast helicopter that really puts on a show. I saw him at another hobby store. I was like, "You coming out?" He said, "Oh yeah, I'll be there." And then what else? Horizon's gonna have some great demos as always. I'm thinking Critical RC is gonna do a demo. They got that new Twin Otter from
Oh,
Flex
yeah.
Innovations.
Yeah, they
and-
were
and-
flying that yesterday.
Yeah,
That
that
was
thing flies
pretty
amazing.
Yeah.
It was like they were spinning it,
Dude,
and just
he
like
just
sitting
a
there like
single-
flats.
Oh, yeah, it's crazy.
Flat, it's a flat spin going out to sea. Which is it?
Right,
You
right.
don't know.
Right.
But-
And then he would switch directions and go the
Yeah,
other way, which
yeah,
is
it was.
and it hardly
sweet.
lost any altitude. Which
No,
was
he
really
was. I
funny.
mean, he was literally holding altitude. It was
yeah,
pretty
it was kind
cool.
of weird.
So.
But that was pretty cool. And,
We're gonna do, the jet gaggle.
Okay.
Has made Jesse a warbird gaggle,
Yeah.
a UMX, the micro planes if we can get enough of them. One thing I tried to get going, I don't know if it's going to happen, is I had wanted to do a heritage flight where we got planes from all the different generations, but I think what happened, and it's just the nature of progress. You know,
Right.
you don't keep all the planes you've had for 20 years.
That's true.
There's maybe one or two out here.
Right.
I went and tried to dust one off, and I was like, it was going to need a lot more than dusting off to get it
Well,
back
that's
in
what
the
mine
air.
was. I brought it,
Yeah.
and then I started looking at it, and I'm like, oh man, I don't
Yeah.
know if I want to.
So,
Got more work to do.
Yeah, so I'm gonna just kind of scratch that one off. But we got
Yeah.
enough. We got more than enough demos for that. So I think everyone is going to be really excited. And the cool thing about with our noon show is everybody here, has got a plane they can fly in the show if they want.
Right.
So I really encourage, hey, you got a warbird, you just got to fly it around a couple laps, in a gaggle.
Sure,
And
sure.
we're watching everybody. We're not trying to hit anybody. Combat, I think we got a few guys doing combat. I have to double check.
Yeah.
That's not quite the thing it used to be, but maybe down the road
Sure.
we'll
Get it
spark
going.
that back up.
So.
Well, I think we got more than enough to entertain people for a good 45, 50 minutes.
How many
Okay.
pilots do you think we're going to get today?
I'm anticipating probably another 20. So we'll probably have close to 60. We're
That's
at
good.
42
Yeah,
pilots
40.
right now, and
Yeah.
and for a Friday, that's actually pretty good. We get
Yeah.
a lot that come out just Saturday, and
That's true.
So I'm optimistic. This event ebbs and flows. The weather yesterday obviously was a factor.
Yeah.
Right.
Where
right.
there was a lot of guys out here who just didn't seem like it, but they were. And I think today, once the sun's up now, but once kind of warms up a little bit and people realize, oh, this is a beautiful day, we're going out.
Right.
Right.
They'll be out here. So it's still early.
Yeah, I was talking to these guys yesterday, and I think I mentioned that for me, normally at the Arizona Electric Festival, you were standing in line to go fly.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, everybody's like got their planes lined up.
Yep.
It's going to take you at least 5 or 10 minutes, to get up there and get yourself going. But yesterday there were a lot of pilots, but guys that decided that they were here, registered, but they just weren't going to fly in that wind because,
Yeah.
like I went out and spotted for a couple guys, and they were just like, oh, I have no business being up here because my airplane is so light and so, I don't want to wreck it in the wind, so we're just going to watch. And so those of us with bigger airplanes, we kind of got out there a couple more
Yep.
times,
Yep.
and there was no line, so it felt like there was a lot less flying, but it was just there were less. The same amount of flying, just
Right.
less pilots doing it.
Right. Exactly. No. Yeah. There was planes in the air. There was only a couple times, especially lunch. I think there was a little lull because one guy come by who was a spectator. He's like, "You guys going to fly today?" And I'm like, "We're flying all the time. It's just it's lunch.
it's
Everyone's
lunch,
over at the hot dog cart." So
Well, and like Barrett, a lot of Barrett's airplanes are super light.
Yeah,
And he
yeah.
flew a couple, but he was like, "Oh, yeah." I think he
booked the
landed
landing gear
booked
on
the
one,
landing gear
yeah.
on
Right,
one because
right.
the wind just hammered him to the ground, and so
Yeah.
it's just super light. And there was a bunch of guys down there that had lighter airplanes that said,
Yeah.
"Yeah, I'm not going to take the risk. I'll just wait till tomorrow." So I think today is going to be a great day. The beautiful weather.
yeah. Oh, you got planes in the air right now.
Yeah, we got
so-
planes going right now. We've got no wind. You can see the flag is not moving at
Yeah.
all. So
it's
that's
just,
kind of
just a slight breeze,
yeah,
and it's
just
right down the runway.
and it was a little chilly yesterday too. That
Yeah,
sun
and it
went
got-
behind the clouds, and man, I got like, ooh,
it got colder in the afternoon.
it did.
I
It
was
really
like,
did.
Yep.
putting the jacket back on.
So, and I know I live up in the north side of town, and I talked to my wife, and she said it was rainy and hail and pretty cold
Oh,
up there
yeah.
too. So, I mean, it is
It
February.
is technically it is
wintertime.
wintertime.
Yeah, it is
so.
wintertime. So. But if you can see the flight line, this is probably I will tell you one of the most photogenic fields. Is that the right word?
Yes.
Photogenic,
field?
yes, I would
It's the most
say
photogenic field. I mean, for those of you who have never been to Mesa, Arizona, or if you have Real Flight from Horizon Hobbies, Real Flight Flight Sim, this field is
So. Yes,
in
it
Real
is.
Field.
It's been on there
And
since Real Flight, I think,
started,
5. Well,
yeah.
not since start, but I think it was version 5 or
Version
something.
5.
But
Okay.
yeah, it's available.
Yeah. But you can kind of see we have a shot, I think, of the mountains back there. And I'll tell you what, when you're flying airplanes and you're coming through there, it makes for great photography.
Oh,
it makes
yeah.
for great visuals.
The mountains, when they were doing the video yesterday on Channel 10, you could not tell it was not a real airplane.
Really?
You swore that was a real airplane
That
flying
is
by the
awesome.
mountains. It was spectacular.
Well, very cool. So, well, we're excited to come to you in this new format. This is kind of new to us. We've mostly just done audio podcasts for the Arizona Electric Festival, but we're going to give this a try and see if we can get our YouTube listeners out there actually taking part in the Arizona Electric Festival. So we're going to jump out on the flight line. We got some stuff to get ready, and we're going to get all of our airplanes up to speed.
I got a lot of stuff to get ready.
He's got Shannon's doing double duty today. You're our contest director.
Contest director still, yeah.
So he's still wearing 2 hats, and he has to take his podcast shirt off and then go back out. And,
our AEF shirt.
Yeah,
we got
he's
a beautiful shirt this year.
Yeah, he's like one of those quick change artists. He just keeps coming around, but. We are so happy to have him with us this year, and we are just looking forward to better episodes and just doing a better job at the podcast. So hopefully we have a lot of spectators, and we will probably come back to you for the noontime show. Maybe we can get some footage of that. And
we'll definitely do that.
And talk to some folks. But for now, we will leave you for the flight, or leaving for the flight line there, and we'll be back right after this message.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Parkflyer Podcast. We are here at the Arizona Electric Festival. We've had a wonderful day here at the field. It has been a full day. We did the noon show and a couple other things, and we'll run through. And I think we're just getting ready for the night fly. And fortunately for us, we had a busy day. So
to say the least.
Yeah. It was Shannon. I've never seen anybody do quick change artistry as well as you.
Yeah,
remind me like Cirque du Soleil. You just kept changing.
Taylor Swift. I got costume changes. Every
That's
5
it.
Seconds,
you kept doing it. So
I have to go down below the stage and back up, and boom, and
then you're in a different one.
Yeah,
absolutely. Well, to bring you up to speed, we have. Let's see. We did the. Kind of left you earlier this morning, and we went out and flew, and then we kind of got immediately into the noon demo.
Yeah, so we had regular day full of flying, and the noon show came together really, really well. We had a lot more participation than we usually do from the pilots.
Right.
Sometimes it's hard getting people to come out and fly in front of an audience, but I think because we people knew we had people coming out for the news, and we'll talk about that later. That was even better. And then our demos from Horizon and Critical RC, Flux Innovations, it just really came together. Ran a little longer than I like, but still it was one of the best ones we've done in recent memory.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
That's true. People didn't want to come down no matter how many times you shouted, okay, go ahead and land planes, and they'd still be out there flying. Okay, you really need to land now. Okay, get on your butts on the ground. They're still meow, meow, meow.
Yeah, I felt like an ATC,
Yeah, it's funny. Our one out
Cessna 159. You need to get on the ground now.
You were cleared to land. Yeah, our 1 hour noon demos turned into about an hour and 45 minutes.
About an hour 20.
Down. Stop flying. What kind of battery you have in there?
It just ended now.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Just now ended.
And the other thing was different is I hosted it.
Oh, that's true.
That's right.
So usually we have a regular guy that was our announcer for most of our events. Just happened to be moving, and he's kind of retiring, I think, from doing it as much as he used to. Oh. So I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to do it because I write the script for it and everything. I'm like, I know it by heart. So I just took over, and James helped me run the flight line. Russ helped me run the flight line. It was just, a little herding cats, but it worked out, and everyone had a good time. We didn't have any crashes.
No, there was really
nobody.
Like, usually there's one spectacular crash, but there really wasn't any.
And there was some close calls, according to the pilots.
Oh, really?
Well, like when Critical RC was doing their demo they was like, whoa, we almost lost it because they forgot to put the struts on.
Yes, they did on the twin.
So that was but overall, I was so happy for it. It was really exciting. I had a ball. Now that I love to talk about airplanes. Obviously, I'm here talking about airplanes all the time now.
Right.
So.
What was your favorite?
Oh boy, it's tough. We'll talk about the awards later, but Allie flying the sailplane. I mean,
that was amazing.
Good. I loved that.
Also, you flying the Cessna.
Yeah.
And we did a little contraband drop.
That's it.
People like that. I mean, I thought it was just so cool. And the Heritage Flight that came together at last minute.
It was really good too.
It was,
Oh,
because
yes.
what I really wanted, I wanted people to bring planes, they've had over the years. Like, well, nobody has a plane from 20 years ago. They do, it's a piece of junk. So I just said, okay, let's get everything that's not in the gaggle, and even if you had something similar in the gaggle, let's just fly it. And we had a nice variety of aircraft up there, and it was just beautiful. I can't think of a better way to describe it, but I really enjoyed how it came together.
Right.
And I'm really happy about it. And that was fun. Yeah, it was a good show. So
Right.
that's all that matters.
It was good. What was your favorite?
I also have to. I hate to catty corner on the glider, but the glider was my favorite of the whole entire show. It had a presence that just smacked you in the face. Not just because it was big, but it was very big, right? 29 feet, 0.3 meters
20
long, or whatever it was.
Yeah, Tony corrected me.
But just the fact, the way he flew it in such a tight area,
Yes, that was amazing.
that's what amazed me. Or he'd drop it down out of altitude, right? The plane would come speeding down, and then he'd loop it like 3 times.
Yeah. It was
Loop,
pretty cool.
loop, loop,
Yeah.
loop.
Yeah.
Then he'd do a tight turn, then come back around, and then he'd throw out the spoilers. It'd start whistling, and then it would kind of just settle about the land. He'd touch down, hit the propeller, zing, and then go up to 1,000 feet again.
Yeah.
That impressed me so much.
It was very impressive. So
And John Serio with his heli demos, he always
Heli demos,
he comes
fast.
out just for that, and I'm like, I'm happy for that. I'm like, come out and do my demo, and we'll take good care of you. So.
he's pretty excited about it, and he usually brings his family, so
Yeah.
he's got his kids, and everybody
Yeah.
get to watch him. So it was kind of cool.
That's what I love. You bringing your family out here and having a good time. That's what
Yeah.
it's all about.
Well, my favorite was the Cessna, mainly because I was flying.
Really?
Yeah. Take
Maybe
it.
a little biased.
There's nothing wrong with that. No, I mean,
No, it was.
No.
No, actually, believe it or not, that's the first. I was telling one of the other guys that's the first time it's flown in front of a crowd since the last noon demo that we did.
Right.
yeah.
No,
It's,
so.
Well,
That was
Mike,
fun.
I have to say you kind of deserved it because that plane's been nagging you all week, right?
Yeah, it
Here
has.
he is like, I just got to make a few repairs, just go over the plane. And then, squirrel, something comes
Yeah,
up. He had to do something else. And then the simple repair or simple little change he was going to make, once he started digging into the plane, he'd find out, like, this is attached to this, and this isn't attached to that. And, oh, my gosh, I have to rebuild this whole,
Right.
cable chain. And then,
Right.
chink, this just snapped off my hand. Hey, what is this magnet for? This seems like this is an important magnet. Where does it go?
Right.
Why is there a block of wood here?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was,
Well, and then every time I tried to do something, and then there would be something else that I'd be like, "Oh man."
So he called me up 2 days before I came out, right?
Yeah.
And he was kind of flustered, So I know this guy for a long time, but it was a flustered phone call, and so I'm listening to him, and I'm like, I got to talk him off the edge, he's and I'm like, hey Mike, I'll be out there in 2 days, yeah, but I got to get this done, and this thing is just getting worse and worse every time I keep peeling back, the scab, it gets worse and worse. What should I do? And I'm just like, hey man, I'll be there in 2 days. We'll figure it out. We'll knock it out. You're making headway. You're making it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And then I come out and then I saw who he was working with, and I was like, oh my gosh, you weren't joking, man. This is a problem. But hey, it all worked out.
It did work out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then after, I could tell definitely at the noon show, I think you definitely got your confidence back after you saw yourself on Channel 10.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And then all of a sudden he started smiling more, where he was really serious, when he was flying in the beginning, and then all of a sudden he started having fun.
Yeah. That's
Well, that and the fact that the big problem for me was A, getting it done, and B, I knew there was a chance that we were going to fly it at the noon demo.
Yep.
And so I kind of needed to get everything done so that when the noon demo did come around and we got to fly it for everyone, that it was in good shape and would work. And
well,
so
definitely paid off.
So I think when I finally took off at the noon demo, and I thought, okay, I'm home free if I can get it around a couple of times.
No, I
And
got
then-
around fine.
Yeah, and then the drop that was awesome.
Yes,
Yep.
it was.
And
It
I
was
got to
perfect.
give it up to Ali. He came out and asked. I asked him specifically about the ASX or AS3000, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'll walk you through it." So he walked me through how it worked and kind of set it all up for me, and then it was just amazing. So
Awesome.
rock solid airplane.
Yes.
So, all right. So after the Heritage fight, we had a couple other gaggles, I think.
Yeah, we had the warbird gaggle, which was really good. Lots
Yeah.
of really good warbirds, and then the jet gaggle. always
the
a crowd
UMX,
pleaser. The UMX guy. Yeah, we struggle with that one sometimes when we can't get enough
Right,
guys. We had
right.
plenty of guys for that.
Yeah, they were the ones that wouldn't land.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
exactly.
true. Yeah, they were just out there
Come
flying around.
on, land. We didn't do a combat. I just couldn't get enough guys for combat. But the Heritage Flight kind of made up for it because the Heritage Flight again didn't exist until today, literally.
Right.
I mean, it was in my idea, but how it came out couldn't have been any better.
That's awesome. So, it is. We are losing a little daylight because we're getting ready for the night flight. But why don't you run us through the award ceremony?
Yes. So got to do the awards that I like to help pass on to all the attendees, and best flight went to Ali.
Yep.
Machinsky for that sailplane because it's just amazing.
It was amazing.
There was no equal for this weekend. For the best jets, there's a lot of the same jets out here. There was one jet that kind of stood out, and what stood out more was the pilot was very young.
Yes, we had
some
a
very
couple
young
kids.
pilots. So Wyatt Wade, one flying it was the FMS Sukhoi, I forget it was SG, Su-27 or whatever. But he flew it a couple times, and he flew it really nice, and he was over the moon. His dad going, "Oh, he's so excited! He got this! He can't believe it!" And I'm like, he deserved it. He really did. So I like to encourage people by, hey, you come out here and you have a good time and you stretch your stuff, you're gonna win something.
Sure.
Best prop went to get his name right, Chaplain Air, I think it is.
Okay.
He actually is a club member, and he also helped in the noon show.
Oh, good.
But he had a Beach Baron. It was twin engine. It was an ARF, but he flew it well, and it just looked good in the air.
It did look good.
There's so many of the same planes, and there's people I've given the awards to over and over again. And I kind of want to pass it on. But this contest director's choice, that was really dear to my heart, and that went to Mr. Michael Moan right here.
That's it.
For the
golf
Cessna.
clap.
Yeah.
Hey.
No, it should be a stadium boom, clap, boom, boom, clap. Yeah. When I come to the contest director's choice, it's not just the airplane. It's the heart in the hobby and your heart you put into getting that plane ready for this event. I could not give it to anybody else because you were there.
Yeah,
and
I appreciate
you brought it home. And Mike was such a big. Michael Calloway was such a big part of our lives with this event.
Yeah.
I just it gives me a little tear. It really does.
There you go.
So you deserved it.
Well, I almost missed it because I was busy with Mike.
Yeah, I was like,
get
over here.
We had a great pilot raffle.
Yes,
and
sure did.
Oh my gosh, we cleaned house as the
yeah,
Parkflyer
we
Podcast
did.
guys cleaned house.
Cha-ching!
Yeah.
We out of the four of us, we got 3 airplanes.
Yeah. I'm the contest director, but I'm a pilot, and I pay my $50.
That's
just
it.
Like everybody
just like
else.
everyone else.
How we do this is we call your pilot number. You come and you draw a chip out of this bucket, and it's totally random. Whatever the prize number is, you do that. You get it. And I happen to win one of the big prizes.
Yep,
And
you won.
I maybe feel a little guilty, but at the same time, it's like I put a lot of work into
Yep.
this. If I get it, I get it. If I
You
don't,
know
I don't.
My turn, suckers.
Yeah.
I don't like to be like that.
No, it's not like that at all. So. It is pretty funny though.
Yeah.
We all kind of got a big 5,000 milliamp battery, and Mike got a little F-14. Jay got a
90
Viper,
90
got a
millimeter Viper,
and you got the T-28 Trojan.
Yeah.
So, it was a great event there, and everybody was excited about that. And so anyway, the reason I almost missed this is because I was helping Mike with the F-14.
Oh, that's right.
So we were over here charging batteries, and he was asking me about this. I was programming radio for him and for Jay, and I was down here, and all of a sudden it got real quiet, and I could hear Shannon talking, because honestly, I never win any awards. But, I could hear Shannon talking, and all of a sudden he's like, the contest director is very dear and near to my heart. And I thought, I wonder who got that. So I stopped what I was doing, and then I heard him go, my name, and I was like, luckily I'm only like 4 steps away from
right?
So I didn't have to run all the way from the other end of the field. But, no, it was really great. And posted it on Facebook, I guess somebody did.
Yes.
Yeah. So immediately, obviously, Facebook is worldwide. So it was not too long before my phone started blowing up with a bunch of congratulations. Hey, congratulations,
awesome.
buddy. And I'm like, wow, where did that come from,
Wow.
So anyway, it was pretty exciting. So, and then, now we're kind of getting ready for the night flight. We got some guys out here that are kind of hanging out.
Yeah,
we had a nice pizza party.
Yes, we did.
Everybody
Good as
kind
always.
of, it's always,
chill out, hang out. And,
kind of
you
chat.
know, one of the comments that one of my regular pilots made is, this is such a relaxed event. Like, there's no pressure. You can fly.
Right.
You can chat. You meet people. You learn new things. You make new friends.
Right.
You know, and when you do fly, it's like, oh, we're having a good time. You know, it's not like, oh, yeah, you get up and plane.
Right.
It's like, let's, but we have a good time and we're safe. You know, we have fun. And,
I was going to say, I think this is the most I've talked to spectators out of a lot of.
That's true.
Because a lot of people were here because of the news
yes,
event,
right?
And people were walking by and they would shake our hands. Or
we had 176 cars parked today.
Oh, nice.
176.
176.
Oh, wow. That's pretty
double
amazing.
what we usually get.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, it was good. The news media ran at 3 different spots.
Actually, it was more. So they did the morning shows that we were live yesterday.
Right.
They did noon, 5, and then they did this morning.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
Because I had a friend of mine text me this morning. Hey, I saw you on the news this morning, and I didn't know they were going to run. But I guess because they were getting such good response,
Right.
They just 30 seconds they could run it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Like I said, it was just amazing. People were like, oh, either they had questions about, so are you guys doing this event, or we saw it on TV, or hey, we were just driving by. And, there was quite a few people that were walking by and they just stopped. I don't know why they want to stop at this particular area where we were at, but they would just stop and like kind of stare. They get this look on their face like,
oh yeah,
I can't cross the invisible yellow line.
The fence, yeah.
But I have a question, or I'd like to come forward a little bit closer or ask a question.
I will say that in my theory on that at this particular moment in time is that when I watched the little segment that they had, I can't remember his name. He had it on the cell phone. I watched it. There were 3 different segments where the hoodies were walking through.
Yep.
So you could see the Parkflyer Podcast hoodies.
That's why they.
So as they were walking down the line, they saw something that you and me and Mike and everybody had on, and they were like, "Oh, that guy was on the news, right?"
Exactly.
Not necessarily my face or talking,
right. I didn't
but
even think
they realized that I saw that guy, and so because he was doing a news media, I think that attracted them to down
maybe
here
that was
where
it.
they were there.
Maybe
so
that was what it was.
That's my theory. I can't
so.
guarantee.
I would say there's definitely some logic to that.
So yeah, it was good for us, and it was great. I think overall the news media did a great job, and getting all those phone calls, and we did get a lot of people.
I got a lot of phone calls the last 2 days. I mean, my phone blew up. Hey, is this event? I'm like, yes, it is. Come on out.
And I agree with Jay. I spent a lot of time this year talking to people on the other side of the fence as opposed to the pilots in here, and answered a lot of questions. Gave out a lot of business cards, and I think people were really interested. And we promoted the club here because several people were like, "Well, if I want to get into this, how do I get into it?" So I have a stack of cards that Matt gave me, and I was like, okay, well, here you go. Check the calendar.
Yeah, we always encourage.
And then everybody was like, yeah, do they do more events like this out here? And I'm like, yes, they do. Here's a calendar. Go check it out. So it worked out pretty well. So
the UFO is getting ready to go up.
I know, we see that. I don't know if you can see it behind us. I think it's like right here, but yeah, we do. Our producers actually shine some light on us, so that's pretty funny. Well, we are getting ready to go night fly, and like I said, it is getting sunset here in Arizona. You can probably see behind us the
mountains
lights,
are disappearing.
Well, that and you got some guys flying
the glow,
there.
the glow of the
night.
night.
You can see that.
That's true too.
And I know that Shannon has got one, and so does Mike. He's got a little night flyer. So we've got a couple airplanes that we want to get in the air too, but. So we're going to leave you for tonight, and we appreciate you joining us here on this beautiful Saturday.
Spectacular Saturday.
It was spectacular Saturday, and we are going to probably join you again tomorrow morning for our final segment. We'll close out the show then. We've got a couple guys that we wanted to talk to that have come in from town, and they've agreed to kind of chat with us in the morning. Yep. So anyway, from Arizona here in Mesa, or from Mesa here in Arizona, I guess is where I should say, we will sign off, and we'll be back right after these messages.
You have been listening to the Parkflyer Podcast. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to your next visit. Please give our show a star rating and review, and feel free to email us your questions, topics, or suggestions to parkflyerpodcast@gmail.com.